and welcome to episode 78 of the Gaslec podcast. In this week's episode, we got some fantastic help and tips and advice on anybody new coming into the industry and you need to be gaining some work experience. We've got a bit of a dilemma and how to overcome it, working on a bit of 3-inch pipe on a heating system. And also obviously the the winter season surely and well and truly has started here, certainly down in Kent and for us here at Gaslec. So I'm going to run through a few bits, those bits and a few bits more. But first of all, here's my friend Sean to tell you a bit more about the podcast. Are you a new person coming into plumbing and heating? Are you a homeowner that likes a bit of DIY? Or are you a business owner and wanted a bit more knowledge before you make some decisions on your plumbing and heating? Stay tuned to the podcast and hopefully we'll be able to help you out with some of your questions. And welcome back to the show. I hope you've all been having a fantastic week. It's been super busy here at Gaslec. We've taken on our new team member last week. Last Friday started. So I'm recording this on Monday evening. It's going out tomorrow. So we've had a really busy weekend, chopping and changing vehicles and getting things ready for young Dan to start with us here at Gaslec. And he's going to be a fantastic member of the team, and he'll be out there meeting you guys very soon if you're listening and watching here within the Southeast. So what I've been up to, so I've got this quote that's out and about at the moment, which is for, it's in a church, and they've got a 3-inch water pipe on a 1-pipe heating system. So it's a steel pipe, it's in the screw, parallel thread, and it's a 1-pipe heating system. So we've got this 3-inch pipe that comes out of the boiler. It comes out of the low loss header in 28 mil, and it comes up into the union, which is it's about so large in the wall, goes into that, which then becomes the 3-inch pipe as it passes into the main church area, goes up about 7-8 meters, goes through the wall, disappears, pops back out the other side, round by the old church organ, the big air horn, and then organ, sorry, and then drops back down the other side. And what we have, sometimes we call brake unions or just unions or little couplings. So when you've got all this screw pipe work, if you need to take out a section of pipe work, how do you do it when it's all been screwed on all the way around the whole system? So you have these big brake unions, and they're quite large really on those when you think about the size of the pipe and then the fitting on the outside of that to make the joint. And we've got 2 of these that have actually been damaged, they're actually leaking, and they've got a lovely brand new floor that's not long been laid, like an oak floor, very light in colour as well. And you know that water's going to be rusty and horrible on the old gravity system. So we got this bit of a dilemma on how to achieve and how to tackle this, because there's so much water volume that we've got to manage within this 3-inch steel pipe. And there's no real drain offs on the system. So I think there's only 4 or 6 radiators on the ground floor, quite big ones on this one pipe. So we need to be able to drain the system out. And part of my worry is that on a piece of copper pipe, if you was to sort of undo a fitting, you can sort of flex it and twist it around a little bit, and you can sort of get away with a bit of murder, to be honest, because these unions, they sort of come together like so, but there is a tiny little lip on them. But what we need to do is unscrew and then put the new one on to be able to make the junction, because there's something that's adrift onto the thread and actually on the joint itself. So we need to completely dismantle and replace it. But it's so difficult when you've got to have to take all the clips out. We have to support the pipe because it's so heavy, and we don't want it to sort of damage the radiators, because they're very old radiators in this church. Support the pipe, but I'd be able to sort of get a tiny bit of flex on it, and we'll have to have a few team members to give us a hand on that as well. So we've been looking up the amount of water volume that is in the 3-inch steel pipe. It's actually 4.5 litres per metre of pipe that's actually contained within. So you think about when you've got a little bit of 15 mil pipe and you've got that little one linear meter, and you could just tip it into a tiny little bucket and that's all taken care of. But now, or sometimes even just into a thick towel, and you could tip that in, it'll soak it up. but each meter has got 4.5 litres. And when you've got 7, 8 meters ahead, and we know that that's 0.1 bar per meter. So we've got on, if the pipework's full up, we've got on thick end of nearly a bar of head of pressure pushing down on that water volume. And with that lovely new floor as well, it's going to be a really tricky job, this one, to make sure that we cause no further damage to the flooring, which is one of my big concerns actually on that job. But if we get the job, we're in a quoting phase at the moment. So if we do get the job, I'll take some pictures and I'll update you guys on how it all goes. So winter season really has started here down in Kent and Gaslec Towers. We've seen this unprecedented amount of phone calls and emails coming in today. So we must have had in one day only well over 200 phone calls and emails that have come in to the team with various questions and quotations. I think we've got about 7 boilers confirmed within 24 hours for installation. So it's absolutely manic here at the minute. So we're doing all that we can to get to every single customer, especially if they're an existing Gaslec customer, and getting around to those guys as well, as our top priority. So new customers, they don't take my priority, but existing certainly do. And we've got a lot more repairs coming in for boilers. We're starting to see people repairing boilers rather than going straight for the replacements. So that's all another level of skill that we've got here at Gaslec to be able to look after our clients as well. So I've also been looking out for a car for our new admin person, Kelly, in the office, to be able to go out and greet our new commercial clients. So that is literally, I love cars, and I've got to a point where I'm actually sick and tired of looking at cars. But now we've gone and bought the new Fiat 500, and his nickname is Luigi. And if you know me at Gaslec and the rest of the team here, we do like to name the vehicles. So we've got Skippy, we've got Dudley, we've got Ronnie the Renault, and we've got Luigi, and Molly the Merc as well. And I forget what the other one's called, the other Renault we've got. So yeah, so watch this space, and that's going to be really going to be jazzed up and ready to go and see our clients. So the final subject on the podcast is some help for those guys out there that are doing their plumbing and heating qualifications, and they need to get that 100, 200 hours, whatever it is, of work experience to be able to complete their courses. And on the social medias, you see my son's after this, my daughter's after that, my nephew's after this, and then you'll get some people putting up on these national posts, and sometimes these international posts as well, the global ones, looking for work experience, let me know, I can help type thing. So really, that is never really going to work. You're going to be so lucky to be able to find anybody that'll be able to take you on and actually give you some work experience. The easiest thing to do is sit on your telephone and just go, yeah, and it comes out. But actually, us guys, we're just too far busy, us business owners, to be able to take you on. So, and we get these emails, we get absolutely probably 2 or 3 a week that are coming in, people asking us for work experience within the plumbing and heating industry. What I will say to you guys is that if you really want to get somewhere, you need to stand out. Everybody is doing exactly the same thing. So if you want to be different, you need to do something different. And if you want to be able to get to that, so I highly recommend to you guys to literally put some clothes on that are suitable for a bit of work, and then go door knocking. So you'll have your local plumbing, heating, one-man band guys. Now they typically work from home, but if they've got a bit of an office, a little bit of a premises like we've got here, we've got Gaslec Towers, come down during the working day and knock on the door. Introduce yourself, show that you're keen, show that you can actually articulate. And we're finding that the younger generations are coming through that are born with Facebook and email and stuff like that. You're starting to lose those sort of skills. You're very academic, 100%. You know, I was born in the 70s, don't tell anyone. And where we didn't have that, we had to talk and we had to sort of communicate to get ourselves around. So if you can really be that person, fake it till you make it if you're necessary, and be willing to learn and have that communication about you and that willingness to grasp the nettle and get up early and be wherever to, if they're going to pick you up, be there 5 minutes early every single day. And if they could be working a little bit late, don't moan about it, and just communicate, ask the questions, don't be a nagger, but, just actually ask the questions. What about this? What about that? What about something else? Don't whinge and whine about, uh, it's cold, it's wet, it's hot, whatever it'll be. Just crack on and get down with it, because that, ultimately, the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out. And that is a really, really big case. And we see it here at Gaslec. We've had a few people come and go over the years, which has been great. And it's been a bit of a shame as well. But the more you put in, the more you get out. And if you always do more than you're paid for, the universe will always pay you. So because you'll always be learning, you'll always be getting those skills, and you'll always be standing out for those, if not your current employer, for your next employer, and as you come across. And as Daley Thompson, we used to, and I think he still does, I listened to a podcast when he was doing the Olympics training. I forget the year, I didn't look it up. He used to train on Christmas Day because he used to say that everybody else that was in the Olympics at the time would actually have Christmas Day off, and he believed he'll be 365th slightly better as an athlete if he trained on Christmas Day. And he went on to win various medals throughout his career. And the podcast said the other day he still trains twice on Christmas Day, so those habits are still well and truly sort of bred into him, as it were. So if you want different results, be different, act differently, talk differently, communicate differently, ask those questions. And if you are going to turn up for work and you've got a trial for with a bunch of guys, take your own little hand tool bag along as well. A couple of spanners, a couple of screwdrivers, a set of pump pliers. It just shows when you're doing that, you're keen yourself to be able to get involved and dive in. They may not let you because they don't know where you are, or the job's worth a lot of money, or could be cause a lot of damage. But just by showing that there, you're showing your enthusiasm and your dedication, your commitment to learning. And ask them for any YouTube videos and sort of hints and tips on where to look as well. There's manufacturers courses that you could go on to. Personally, right now, I think within the gas industry, we really are saturated, and I wouldn't recommend anybody to go and do their gas course right now. I still think we've got a few years to go in it, 100%. I don't think it's going to dry up anytime soon. But time you get on and do your level 1, level 2, then you do your level 3, then you do your core gas, then you have to go away for a year to go off and do your portfolio, then come back, then do your further exams within the industry. Then you can get your qualification, and then you've got all your add-ons and your bolt-ons, and you got to wait for those as well to come on board. So you are really looking at maybe 3 or 4 years from start to a point, and that's when you really start learning, when you're out there doing the boiler repairs and stuff like that. So I think time you get to that point there, what's the gas industry really going to be like? It's all going to be full of like a renewables to whatever it'll be, air to water, air to heat, air to air, or air to water, sort of heat pumps. I still think we still got a go on the hydrogen side of things, but we are really saturated. Certainly here within the Medway towns, the local gas inspector, when I was talking to him, he said there was over 100 gas safe registered people within the Medway towns. And there are people that work up in the London village, and they work here, they work there, they work for themselves, they work for somebody else. But he was saying there was 100 people, or just over 100 people within Medway, which is quite a lot, because it's a highly densely populated area, but that's actually quite a few members. Yeah, I would start looking at the other side of heating, which has got a lot more future in it. And certainly at the moment, I've got my skepticism. Yeah, I have. Yeah, but Yeah, if I was going to hang, if I was a young person hanging my hat on something, I wouldn't be hanging my hat on some old fella here with grey hair, talking on a podcast. I'll be looking sort of to where the people are talking the loudest at the moment, for your own futures, because that's where the money's going to go. That's where all the government funding's going to go. But yeah, anyway, I've got my own theories on that. But gas side, it's a lot of money and a long time to do it. I'd seriously think twice about it. But as a plumber and getting into the water side, we're always going to be needing water. I don't think AI can be fixing pipes and taps and dealing with waste that us humans produce. So there'll always be that part that we're going to be needed for. So yeah, is it how we're going to develop that heat and how we're going to develop that hot water for us to consume as humans as we move forwards. So that's it for the podcast this week. So it's a bit of a short one. We've had a bit of a busy weekend, and it's getting late as well. So we've got to get this edited up and get this on for Tuesday morning. So thank you very much indeed. I hope you're liking the new podcast setup. I did have a feedback from one of the listeners. Who was a bit of a joker, but yeah, he gave some quite positive feedback on the new podcast layout. So I'm still messing around with the colours of the lights. So I don't know if I've got a bit of green over here and a bit mauvey over here. I don't know what that's going to look like, but it got too late with me messing around to get it done. Well, you take care, guys. Have a fantastic week, and I'll catch you next week. Thank you. Goodbye.